Imagine a nightmare unfolding in the dead of night. Deep in the Sierra Nevada lies a cabin, a place of seclusion, a retreat from the world. But on this night, evil lurked. The Sharp family, seeking peace, found horror, their story, a chilling reminder that evil can find you anywhere. April 1981. The night, the screams, a mystery unfolds, forever etched in the annals of true crime. The Sierra Nevada, a majestic range, towering forests, crystal clear lakes, a sanctuary for hikers, campers, and dreamers. But beneath the beauty lies a darkness, a history steeped in mystery. Cabin 28, nestled in the heart of this wilderness, a rustic escape from the hustle of everyday life, a place to reconnect with nature, with loved ones, with peace, or so it seemed. Miles from civilization, Cabin 28 offered privacy, but also isolation, a double-edged sword in the wilderness. Help was a long way away, and on that night, it would prove fatal. Section 4, A Dark Past. Unbeknownst to the Sharps, Cabin 28 harbored secrets. Whispers of strange occurrences, unexplained events, a sense of unease had plagued previous occupants. But the truth remained hidden. Section 1. A family gathering. It was a reunion. The Sharps had been planning this event for months, meticulously organizing every detail to ensure it would be a memorable occasion. The family had not gathered like this in years, and the anticipation was palpable. The rustic cabin, nestled deep in the woods, was the perfect setting for such a heartfelt reunion. It was a place that held many memories for the Sharps, a place where they had spent countless summers together, laughing, playing, and creating bonds that would last a lifetime. The Sharps had invited guests. Friends and family from near and far made their way to the cabin, their cars winding down the narrow tree-lined road that led to the secluded retreat. As each guest arrived, they were greeted with warm hugs and cheerful smiles, the air filled with the sounds of joyous reunions. Old friends reconnected, cousins who hadn't seen each other in years caught up on lost time, and new friendships began to form. The atmosphere was electric with excitement and the promise of a weekend filled with fun and camaraderie. Their daughter's friend and her boyfriend joining them at the cabin. The young couple, eager to be part of the festivities, brought a fresh energy to the gathering. They were welcomed with open arms, quickly becoming part of the extended family. The teenagers in particular were thrilled to have new faces to share their adventures with. They spent the afternoon exploring the woods, playing games and sharing stories, their laughter echoing through the trees. An evening of laughter, of games, of shared stories. As the sun began to set, everyone gathered around the large wooden table in the cabin's main room. Board games were brought out, and the friendly competition began. Laughter filled the room as stories were shared, some old and familiar, others new and exciting. The crackling fire in the hearth added a cozy warmth to the atmosphere, making everyone feel at home. Later, they moved outside to the campfire where the storytelling continued under the starry sky. The flickering flames cast a warm glow on their faces as they reminisced about the past and dreamed about the future, unaware of the darkness that lurked just outside. As the night grew darker, an eerie stillness settled over the woods. The laughter and chatter from the cabin seemed to be swallowed by the surrounding darkness. Unbeknownst to the Sharps and their guests, something sinister was lurking just beyond the tree line. The peaceful night was about to take a turn, but for now, they remained blissfully unaware, wrapped in the warmth of their reunion and the comfort of each other's company. Section 2, Night of Terror. As night fell, the mood shifted. A sense of unease settled upon the cabin. Sounds from the woods, unsettling and unknown. The peace they sought shattered by violence. Section 3, the discovery. Days later, a concerned neighbor approached. The cabin, the door, ajar. A silence that was deafening. Inside, a scene of unspeakable horror. Section 4, a gruesome scene. The Sharps, their guests, brutally murdered. The cabin, a bloodbath, a testament to savagery. No explanation, no witnesses, just questions that would haunt investigators for decades to come. Section 1. Clues. The crime scene, a gruesome puzzle. Pieces scattered among the carnage, bloodstains, footprints, a struggle for survival, but the killer left little behind. Their identity, a chilling mystery. Section 2. Theories. Was it a robbery, gone wrong, or something more sinister? The Sharps had no known enemies, no obvious motive for such brutality. The investigation turned to their past, their relationships. Section 3. Whispers. Rumors spread like wildfire through the small town. Whispers of a secret cult operating in the mountains, of dark rituals and ancient curses. Could this tragedy be the work of something supernatural? Section 4. Dead ends. Years passed, leads went cold, the case grew colder, suspects questioned and cleared. The truth still eluded. The vanishing of Cabin 28 remains an unsolved mystery. Some details defy explanation. The brutality of the attack, the seeming randomness of the victims, and the eerie silence that followed. Was this the work of someone driven by rage, or something more calculating? Local lore is rife with tales of strangers driven to madness by the isolation of the mountains, their minds unraveling. Could this be a case of someone snapping their sanity, a casualty of the wilderness? Some believe the truth is buried deeper, a conspiracy of silence, protecting someone or something more powerful. Were there witnesses too afraid to come forward, or were they silenced? Section 4. The truth out there. The mystery of Cabin 28 endures, haunting those who seek answers in the shadows, in the whispers. The truth is out there, somewhere, waiting to be found. Section 1. Decades of silence. Years turned into decades. The horror of Cabin 28 faded into memory. The once vivid images of that fateful night slowly blurred as time marched on. The echoes of the past grew faint, almost like whispers in the wind. Yet for those who lived through it, the memories never truly vanished. They lingered like shadows in the corners of their minds. The pain, the loss, the unanswered questions, all remained just beneath the surface, a cold case, gathering dust. But for some, the questions lingered. The need for answers burned bright. Families, friends, and even strangers who had heard the story all wondered what really happened that night. The police files, filled with details, yet lacking the crucial pieces to solve the puzzle. The newspapers, once filled with headlines, now yellowed with age, told a story that seemed to have no end. Could this case ever truly be closed? Detectives, both old and new, pored over the evidence, hoping to find that one clue that could break the case wide open. In dimly lit rooms, they pondered the possibilities, retracing steps, and re-examining every piece of evidence. The courtroom once filled with the buzz of activity, now stood silent, waiting for the day when justice might finally be served. The quest for answers was far from over. The silence of the decades was not the end, but merely a pause in the ongoing search for truth. The story of Cabin 28 was still being written. Section 2. A cold case heats up. Advances in DNA technology offered new hope. For years the case had gone cold, with no new leads or evidence to point investigators in the right direction. But now, with the advent of cutting-edge DNA analysis techniques, there was a renewed sense of optimism. The once-forgotten case files were being dusted off, and the lab technicians were hard at work, meticulously examining every piece of evidence for any trace of DNA that could provide a breakthrough. The scientists in the modern laboratory were determined to uncover the truth, no matter how long it had been buried. Could they unlock secrets hidden for so long? The detectives, who had spent countless hours poring over old case files, were now filled with a renewed sense of purpose. They knew that the answers they sought could be hidden in the smallest of details, and they were determined to leave no stone unturned. The ancient locked box that had been sitting in evidence for decades was finally being opened, revealing its long-held secrets. Each piece of evidence was carefully examined, with the hope that it would lead them one step closer to solving the mystery. The possibility of a breakthrough reinvigorated the investigation. The team of investigators gathered in the meeting room, surrounded by case files spread out on the table. Forensic experts discussed the evidence, analyzing every detail with precision. The police tape around the crime scene in the wooded area served as a stark reminder of the tragedy that had occurred so many years ago. But now, there was a sense of hope in the air. The possibility of finally solving the case and bringing justice to the victims and their families was within reach. The investigators were more determined than ever to see the case through to the end. New leads, new witnesses, emerging from the shadows. As the investigation progressed, new leads began to surface. Witnesses who had remained silent for years were now coming forward, providing crucial information that could help solve the case. The detective interviewed a new witness, carefully noting every detail of their account. The police sketch artist worked diligently, drawing a suspect based on the witness's description. It was as if the pieces of the puzzle were finally coming together. The person emerging from the dark alley into the light symbolized the hope that the truth would finally be revealed. The cold case was heating up, and the investigators were ready to follow every lead, no matter where it took them. Yet, as time passes, the truth remains elusive. The answers still lie, buried, within the walls of Cabin 28, a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. The Sierra Nevada still stands in all its majesty, but the story of Cabin 28 casts a long and chilling shadow over its beauty, a reminder that even in paradise, darkness can lurk. The Sharps and their guests are gone, but their story lives on, in the annals of true crime, in the hearts of those who remember, and in the ongoing search for answers. Will we ever know what truly happened that fateful night in the depths of the Sierra Nevada? Or will the vanishing of Cabin 28 remain forever unsolved?